everybody? Welcome back to another Talking Thursday. Today I'm going to touch on a topic that's kind of been a hot topic in social media right now amongst teachers and a lot of experts and consultants and all that good stuff. It's about the read aloud. With the battle of, the new reading wars, I guess some would call them, with balanced literacy and structured literacy, one of the things that's come on fire has been read-alouds, or as you say, like picture books and things like that. So I will just say a quick little thing here about it. The thing about read-alouds, and even as an interventionist, when you go through guided reading books or books of that type, kids sometimes will use the picture sometimes to try to determine what the word is and things like that. So a lot of these habits are there. People talk about those things, but they are there. Sorry, email in the background. But that is something that's real. But at the end of the day, what I really want to tell people today is to be intentional about the read-aloud. There's nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, I do think you have to be intentional about what you're doing. Now, what I like to use read-alouds for sometimes is being intentional about teaching skills and reinforcing certain things, whether it's building background knowledge, so on and so forth. So just to kind of just illustrate that, I want to just kind of show some books that are good for that and what you can use it for. So one book I have here is Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters. It's a read-aloud I've used for years doing character traits in the classroom. So I really think it's really good for that. And you can explicitly teach character traits, but then at the same time, you can actually compare and contrast. So a lot of things you can do with this book, and it's actually quite clear as who's evil, who's good, who's bad. And it's really good at getting kids to analyze those character traits and even making some emphasis about what's going on in the book. So you can explicitly teach skills, but isn't it something you have to do every day? It could be just for that day to teach character traits. So also read-alouds can be for building knowledge. So you have here a book on Sonia Sotomayor, and it can be really good for, building that background knowledge, but at the same time, you can teach skills and do all that. But at the same time, in a lot of literacy blocks, they don't have social studies. You have to embed it, as they like to call it. So this is a really good book for that. Here you have the name jar. This is a really good one for obviously getting kids to identify their own name and print concepts. That's something I'm learning right now in the Science of Reading Academy. But at the same time, this is actually a pretty good book for working on vocabulary and different things like that. So you can be intentional about what you're teaching. So you're doing context clues, anything like that. A lot of times on the state test, context clues is something they kind of can look up, but they still need to be able to make those as they determine the meaning for words. Now, if you want to have fun and also build that background knowledge, you can have a book like this, Rutherford Who Is He? Poems about presidents. So of course they can learn about presidents, but at the same time, you can teach them about the different structures of poems. So it can be used for multiple things. And then poems are fun. You can build fluency. There's several things that you can do with this. So just on this Talking Thursday, I want to illustrate to people, there's so many things you can do with read-alouds. There are things I can see where people have issues with just specifically using this. And also when people say, during your reading aloud, that's just customary. Now, if you work at lower levels, yeah, you do one every day. You have the space for it. But you work at upper level, there's so many skills that you could teach. And one other tip I get to teaching this might be a little different than how some people like to do it. I know a lot of folks like to pull kids to the carpet, do all those things. But one thing I learned, kind of can be a little inefficient. You got to think about the time you spend pulling them to the carpet. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes in some cases trying to get behavior together. Or the things that you have to deal with as far as doing the read aloud, have to turn the book around to show the picture. I would say, why not let them sit at the desk and actually put the read aloud on the document camera and read it to them. Maybe let the kids read it a little bit, or you could just project one from certain platforms, the RAS Kids, I like to use that one, and project it for the kids so it's a lot easier for them to see. And then we're in the new technology era. It's really good for that. So I just want y'all really just to put a little bit to that and just being intentional about your read aloud. There's not a lot of research that shows great things about read alouds outside of building background knowledge. So I know some people love to do it, but you got to think about, if you're going to do it, be real intentional about how you're doing it. All right, this has been Jay Short signing out. Not Jay Short, I'm going to my old sports. Mr. Short signing out. Be phenomenal, everybody. Have a phenomenal week. Peace out.